Arriving for the war to which they were tasked, "What did mine and Pandavas do?" King to Sanjaya asked. An array of mighty soldiers were in both forces, mounted on elephants as well as on horses. Elder Kaurava, Bhishma, roared like a lion and sounded his conch to encourage his scion. Arjuna said, "O Achyuta, I need a closer sight to know who are amongst the Kauravas ready to fight. Please move my chariot to the place that is best. In the middle, between these two armies, is my request." Arjuna then became overcome with fear on sighting the opposing army of many he held so dear. Fast crumbling under the weight of his mission, he fell into a deep and despairing condition. Fortunately for him, right by his side was the ultimate, the best, as his true friend and guide. Sri Bhagavan patiently heard Arjuna's laments of woes that would arise from battle events. "O compassionate one, please understand my plight. Why do you ask me to engage in this fight? Better that I go to the forest or farther yonder. A bloodshed victory I would willingly squander. Torturous are thoughts of grandsire and gurus slain. At such costs no kingdom do I wish to gain. My bow slips from my hand, and I feel oh so weak. To you I surrender, and your advice I do seek." Then Sri Bhagavan, with a gentle and knowing smile, delivered his teaching with inimitable style. To snap Arjuna out of his pitiful state, the nature of Atma, action and duty he conveyed straight. Overwhelmed by the complexity of statements heard, in Arjuna an intense curiosity was stirred. "You say engaging in battle is duty, but if all are eternal Atma, then what is the need of my duty? Why can I not step back from this war when it will surely lead to suffering, bloodshed and gore? You compel me to not turn away from this fight, but your words seem confusing. I see no reason to delight. You state path of knowledge is superior to action. What is the need then of this battle distraction? Please tell me decisively which path for me is best. Attaining permanent happiness is my quest." O Arjuna, you of relatively pure mind are ready for this teaching to free you from life's bind. From time immemorial are two paths for ease. For Sankyans and Yogis, like rafts are these. To cross the ocean of samsara, follow these routes. Make liberation from life's pains your pursuit. Sankyans experience Atma due to a matured mind, so with body they are no longer entwined. On the path of knowledge, Sankyans do travel. Yogis, however, have much more to unravel. Karma is the path on which yogis must traverse, and so in their required activities they must immerse. A renunciate do not for once think you are, for by abstaining from action you do not attain that bar. By pretending to have reached an actionless state, you cheat yourself, creating a negative trait. Only when mind reaches that pure higher level, deep in knowledge of Atma, will you surely revel. For a moment without activity, none can remain. Influence of nature on mind fuels the activity chain. Be not like the daydreamer planning actions in mind, with no execution of those grand plans designed. Oblivious they remain in a world full of dreams, without understanding the mind's projected beams. But those with their organs and senses under control transform their plans into actions whole. For them, outcome of work is not motivation. Fame, money, and gains are never the temptation. By releasing attachment to the fruits of action, quality work flows easily and without distraction. In surrender, offer me your duties and others that arise. Rejecting these is not an action of the wise. The outcome of actions conducted in the past, whether desirable or not, these too into life are cast. Accept with grace all that comes your way, whether it is expected or not. From balance do not stray. Process-oriented action is a most precious key. Through this door of yajna, from bondage be free. Brahma revealed yajna as a wish-fulfilling cow. By the right quality of mind behind actions is how. Through a cyclic step process, this universe functions, and the presence of yajna prevents malfunction. From food come beings, their quality actions bring rain. Food is produced, and thus the cycle maintains. But those who take from nature's store without return, negative tendencies they will certainly earn. By harmonic exchange with nature's forces divine, true happiness exists for all without decline. For all-pervading Brahman, yajna is the foundation, so understand well this important relation. Let your motive for action be only for the action itself. With firm resolve, stay situated in the self. Release all worries of outcomes yet to unfold. Have awareness of mind, creating many stories untold. Arjuna, this battle you must not avoid. As a role model to others, your actions must not be devoid. Followed are the actions of those in an influential role. As such, take care to act with proper control. Thoughts, speech, and action should be aligned. Turning away from duty is wrongful to be inclined. Arjuna, I have no duty and no more to attain, but if I do not engage in action, these worlds will not remain. If I, through nature, do not function in a perfect way, the sun would fail to rise, all systems fall in disarray. The plants and all creatures would thus be destroyed, so as the supporter of all, this I must avoid. Those without knowledge of the self so true work with thoughts of the fruits they feverishly pursue. But the wise neither think themselves doer nor crave the fruit. Desiring welfare of the world is their pursuit. Those in full control of their body and mind must never confuse those who are not in this way refined. Instead, they must lead by example and show, for such visible actions encourage others to grow. When engaged in actions, the wise are aware that the qualities of nature in senses is the doer there. But those who think themselves the doer do not in fact know that trigunas direct their karma flow. Whilst they perform all actions with strong attachment, the wise act with full knowledge and non-attachment. Cast off your fears, surrendering all actions in me. Without desire for outcomes, you are surely free. With faith follow my teaching, and truth you will know. By karma yoga, good action seeds you sow. To all those who act in this way, I do decree that from bondage by actions they entirely break free. But the deluded remain trapped by life's debris and are doomed to destruction in the samsara sea. Those unaware and bound by endless desire remain oblivious to the burns of that insatiable fire. From habits, likes and dislikes arise, but subtle tendencies do not disturb the balance of the wise. It is in the senses that these dualities play, and most forcefully these can lead a person astray. So exercise vigilance and suppression of mind to control. Be the keen observer, always on patrol. Engage in your own duty with confidence, instead of coveting another's for which you show incompetence. Arjuna by now was no longer teary, and brimming with curiosity came his next thoughtful query. I know all actions have consequences, and that whether good or bad, a tendency commences. But what is that force compelling me to wrongly act, rather like a computer which has been hacked? Sri Bhagavan replied to Arjuna succinctly, it is forms of desire, and you should know those distinctly. To free from misery, destruction and pain, Know well the many forms of desire that need to be slain. From Rajoguna these forms are born. As enemies of a seeker, you must pull out those thorns. Desire, anger, delusion, jealousy, pride, competition, to remove these from mind is not an easy mission. All 6 stem from attachments in mind. Like hooks are these uncontrollable, recurring thoughts that bind. Nature of Rajas is endless, desire-filled action, therefore void of knowledge, peace, or satisfaction. About these forms of desire, do not be blind. Understand they reside in the senses, intellect, and mind. Since the light of true knowledge these constrict, beware these harmful tenants, seek out and evict. Most naturally, the senses to their objects migrate, stealing away mind with a myriad of sensory bait. The material world tantalizes with dazzle and allure, so for this Sri Bhagavan prescribed a cure. He advised Arjuna to first observe and control the senses which to their objects most freely stroll. Once senses are controlled and blocked, the mind by strong will of intellect is not so easily rocked. Remnants of desire still present in the mind reduce in strength and do not further spellbind. Thus actions refined by vigilance and suppression weaken the desire and erase aggression. By actions as yajna, release from karma's chains, material and spiritual progress are the gains. Know well that desire is constant enemy of the wise. Difficult to defeat are those many forms that arise. True knowledge illumines that mind when freed. Hence the purificatory action of karma yoga is a need.